Which equation is equivalent to this one? What does equivalent mean? It means the same, right? One of these equations is the same as this one, but they sure don't look the same. They look pretty different. How can we turn this one into one of these? How can we change this one to match up with one of those? Well, let's solve for y. That is, let's get y by itself. Notice for each of these answer choices, y is by itself. And the thing that we're given, y, is next to a -3 and a 4x. Let's get it by itself. So let's solve. So I'm going to put up a wall where I see my equal sign, and I'm going to try to get y by itself. I'm going to start by getting rid of this term, 4x. 4x has nothing to do with y, so let's get rid of it. How do I get rid of a term? My choices are I can either add it or subtract it. I'm going to choose subtracting because it's the opposite. I have a positive 4x. So to get rid of it, I need to subtract 4x. Positive 4 minus 4, I have no x's left. It's gone. But we're dealing with an equation. So if I subtract 4x from this side, I have to also subtract it from that side. Alright, so these canceled out. I still have -3y on this side. What am I going to get on the other side? 12 minus 4x. It's tempting to actually subtract them, but these aren't like terms. This is a constant, this one has an x. I can't actually combine them. So the best I can do is just write them side by side. 12 minus 4x. Alright, we're getting closer. Y still isn't by itself. It's being multiplied by -3. -3 is what we call a coefficient. To get rid of a coefficient, our options are multiply or divide. Here I see -3 times y. So the opposite would be division. I need to divide -3. Why? Because -3 divided by -3 is 1, right? If you don't believe me, -3 divided by -3, it's 1. So I'm left with 1y, which is what I want, because 1y is the same thing as just a y, like our options. But we have an equation, so if I divide by 3 here, I have to divide by 3 everywhere. So 12 divided by -3, that gives me -4. -4 divided by -3. What's that? Alright, let's use our calculator. -4 divided by -3, that's 1.3 repeating x. Alright, let's look at our answer choices. I have this constant -4. Here, this one, g, is the only equation with a constant -4. So, by process of elimination, I know my answer has to be g. But where does this 4/3 come from? Well, how can we turn this decimal into a fraction? If you remember, we can press math, enter, enter. Ta-da! We got 4/3. So that decimal is actually 4/3. 4/3 x. And we've solved for y. Alright, down below there's a bunch of practice problems, and your goal is to solve each for y and then to find the 3 equations that represent the same linear function. That is, just like the last problem, 3 of these are equivalent, and you have to figure out which 3 it is.